Energy and Forestry on the Agriculture Committee. Mr. Thompson, for 5 minutes for his opening statement.
Thank you, Chairman Lamborn, Ranking Members Holt and Holden. I appreciate your help and interest in holding this important hearing. Since its inception, the National Forest System has been intended for multiple use. This includes timber harvesting, recreation, tourism, and, yes, mineral extraction, such as oil, gas, and coal. For an example, I don't have to look any further than the Allegheny National Forest, which is in the thick of Pennsylvania, which I'm privileged to represent. The world's oil industry was born there 151 years ago with Drake Well. And since its founding 64 years later in 1923, oil and gas production has continued in the nearby Allegheny National Forest. Some will have you believe that natural resource production, whether it's oil, gas, coal, or timber, and environmental stewardship are mutually exclusive. Nothing could be farther from the truth. And for those who think otherwise, I certainly invite them to Pennsylvania and the Allegheny National Forest to see for themselves. Through effective management practices, we have successfully produced oil, gas, and timber for decades in the A&F while protecting our environment. In fact, we boast of having the finest hardwoods in the world, and because of their value, I believe that the A&F is one of the few, perhaps the only national forest that actually makes money for the Forest Service. Because we are blessed with abundant natural resources, Pennsylvania is again returning to its energy roots with the production of natural gas from the Marcellus Shale field, which many experts feel is one of the largest gas plays in the world. The Allegheny National Forest is part of that play. Through modern technology, especially horizontal drilling and hydraulic fracturing, production of oil and natural gas from our many shale formations are now possible. In plain English, no fracturing and no horizontal drilling means no natural gas or oil from shale and no energy security. The Marcellus has brought us upwards of 100,000 new jobs to Pennsylvania alone, significant new tax revenues to the state, over $200 million to build new roads, none of that was taxpayer dollars, and an unimaginable amount of natural gas to the country. After only 4 years of production and being less than 10% developed, the Marcellus is already providing the entire northeast United States with over 10% of its natural gas. Aside from the jobs, both direct and indirect, and the public and private revenue it creates, the shale boom is helping to stabilize natural gas market in the United States. Access to affordable natural gas directly impacts consumers. Because of the production of shale gas brought by the horizontal drill, citizens could afford to heat their homes this winter, and the price of many goods produced from natural gas saw no increase in cost because of gas prices. Natural gas, which sold 4 years ago for record prices of over $13 a thousand cubic feet, has been stabilized to around $4.50. Dow Chemical and other petrochemical companies were set to move offshore just a few years ago because of high and unsustainable natural gas prices in the United States. Fortunately, because of our ability to produce shale gas through horizontal drilling and hydrofracturing, instead of moving offshore, Dow is now planning to expand its operations in the United States. Jobs. Make no mistake, our affordable and predictable natural gas prices are a direct result of our ability to produce it through horizontal drilling and hydrofracturing. Without a doubt, development will have its challenges, but I am convinced that we can meet these challenges and do it effectively as we have for decades. Knowing of our need for affordable and reliable energy, which we are blessed with in this country, I'm extremely concerned about the Forest Service placing a moratorium on applications for permits to drill any, quote, horizontal well and associated hydraulic fracturing, end quote. Not only does this undermine the service's mission of multiple use, but it also comes at a time when we're becoming more dependent on foreign sources and when world energy consumption continues to increase, while the federal government continues to stymie development of our own natural resources. Let's not forget that oil, gas, coal, and all minerals and timber on federal lands are not owned by the Forest Service, but by the citizens of our country and would greatly benefit from their production. Any action to prevent the development should be based on sound science and fact, not philosophy and not political agendas. The basic question I have regarding the decision by the Department of Agriculture and the Forest Service to place or propose a moratorium on even processing a permit to drill utilizing hydraulic drilling and hydraulic fracturing is when and why did they come to the conclusion that these processes should be banned in the forest? Did they perform environmental and economic analysis? Do they have any evidence that horizontal drilling and hydraulic fracturing are inherent threats to the forest, human health, or our water supply? It appears to me the Forest Service has no credible reason for moving in this direction. Now, I assume the Forest Service witnesses think otherwise, and they will present logical, science-based facts for their proposed moratorium. I do want to thank our witnesses in this first panel, Director Abbey, Deputy Director Holtrop, Director Ferguson, and Supervisor Heiser. We look forward to your testimonies and the opportunity to have a productive dialogue. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I now recognize